Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The money line, we're live. It's UFC Vegas 75, and I'm looking forward to breaking down the card with my guy Mike Finch. How you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm good, bro. Just stunting the glasses right now because
Nice.
I'm confident today. Hit the lock, hit the parlay. Hope you guys enjoyed that shit. If any of you made money off of the picks, you know how to pay us back. It's right here in the live chat. And AJ, I was rooting for Aldana for you, bro. Did you know that? When I was watching that fight, I was saying, you know what she's doing? She's waiting to bring it on at the end, man. They're going to see. We didn't see.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, all right, she caught her with a nice right hand in the first round. Yeah, she's taking a little beating to just land that one shot of death.
Yeah, she was waiting, right?
It just turned out she was just waiting, but the shot never came. Yeah, man, I'm going to have to be a historic laugh because that was one of
No,
the
you went for the dog. You know what? Her corner was not doing well, man. Were you listening to that corner advice?
I feel like they didn't really have any hype behind them. There's no no Leon Edwards corner where it's like, yeah, we're gonna get it. Come on.
Even I mean, actually, I'd take the other way. I would say they had no technical advice. They were saying, go get her,
Yeah.
but like, she needs to know how to go get her, you know? It's like the old BJ Penn corner, like, do it for Hawaii, BJ. Like, he knows he's supposed to win, you know? Tell him, should he double up on the jab? Should he level change? Maybe he should start attacking the calf kick, you know? She didn't get that technical advice that I think she needed. I think Irene Aldana's corner failed her.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to cry.
If AJ was in the corner, shit would have been different.
I don't know what game plan we could have had. So listen, you're fighting the female goat. You're done. It's over with this. I'd say keep kicking that fucking calf and, try to close the distance. But ultimately, Nunes just proved the female GOAT status. Now, it's interesting because I picked against Khabib, against Gaethje. He retires. I picked against Nunes. She retired. It's like I'm plagued with the attacking the and new. And then the greats retire afterwards. So I'm 0-2 on fucking all-time great retirement picks.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, Amanda Nunes did look in shape to me. We were talking about how she was training at that like private gym. Would that have an effect on her? AJ, her takedowns look great. I mean, she looked like vintage Amanda Nunes. Why is she stepping away, man? If it's that easy for her to beat up the number 2, the number 3 girls, I mean, she's got a couple million she could still cash here. Could I predict right now we see Amanda Nunes back?
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes, brother. The money's right there.
That's
you wouldn't cash out $1 million to smack up the next contender. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess I don't know. I haven't gone through the ringer that Nunes has, so I don't know how the wear and tear is. I don't know how her mental health is. I know that she's got another kid on the way with Nina. So it's like the family life is there, and then going down as the double champ, all-time great. And kind of maybe, I don't need the money. Let me spit in the face of Juliana Pena for ever thinking that she'd have another chance against me and just ride on out into the sunset and call it game, set, match. Having beaten everyone. I mean, all the fucking female goats. Cyborg, Rousey, Holly Holm. She's beaten all of them. So I think good way to go out.
I mean, legendary MMA career. All the best to Amanda Nunes. If that was the last time we got to see her, she did more in this sport than any other female. Now, Chris Cyborg lives a couple blocks away from me over there. I feel like I should shout out Chris Cyborg. I would have loved to see like a trilogy between those two. I feel like, the whole MMA community kind of, kicked Cyborg to the curb once she had that one loss. But those are probably the 2 best women of all time. And Amanda Nunes maybe separated herself as number 1. So, with the Cyborg win, although we only saw it once. So congratulations to her, man. She looks excellent. And yeah, I was impressed.
I was impressed. The way she handled Aldana with relative ease, really only one punch in the entire fight. That was like a wow moment for Aldana. Everything else was just her getting beaten up. So it was vintage Nunes, but it was also an absolute dog co-main event because Charlie O looked better than he's looked maybe throughout his whole fucking run. He was more dominant. He didn't get hurt once in the fight, and he ends up bullying Benny Dariush, man. I was impressed as hell with Charles Oliveira. I saw the slight face make. I know Benny Dariush was on top for a little bit and had a bit of top control, but bro, Charlie O looked like a menace on the feet.
Yeah, no, I saw it different. You just said it right there, though. I didn't see a Charlie Olive's domination. I saw him giving up position right away, doing that weird shit that makes you think about betting against him, you know, like him giving up. He tried to go for like a box takedown and then pulled guard, essentially, you know, doing shit like that puts him in positions where he could eat a big elbow or something. Did he? No. He's excellent. I mean, his jiu-jitsu is so clean off of his back. He was able to stay nice and just no cuts, no bullshit, didn't get hit with anything big. And then, you know, if you start letting him come downhill, I think that's the big lesson to learn here. My friend Kevin texted me right away. He's like, dude, I'm an idiot for believing the Beneil Dariush hype. He's like, why don't these guys back Charles Oliveira up? And it's true. I'll just say it in the reverse, though. If you let Charles Oliveira storm forward, if he hits you and you start leaning back like Beneil Dariush was doing, the same way Anderson Silva got caught, the same way a few of the phenomenal strikers at King's MMA have been hit. If you start doing that pull away game on Charles Oliveira, he's going to put another punch and another kick and another knee and another hook, and he's just going to keep on coming forward. And he just kept storming forward until he kicked the fucking door down, dude. And as soon as he gets you hurt, what a finisher Charlie Olives is, man. Very cool to see him snipe another win. Not a nicer person in the world than Beneil Dariush. Again, Yorba Linda, California. All these guys are local. Of course, I'm rooting for my guy, Beneil Dariush. But isn't it great to see Charlie Olives get that fucking finish and get back up to the top of the division? The champion has a name, and it's Islam Makhachev. But Charles Oliveira is close.
I think Oliveira Makhachev, too, is a pretty good rematch. It sells. We get to see it again, but I'm going to throw a little shift in the mix. I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing Makhachev and Oliveira in Brazil. That'd be fucking madness. Oliveira fought him in, Abu Dhabi last time. And now this time they go to Brazil, give Charlie O a little home field edge. It'd be pretty cool to do. I don't know. I'm kind of down for that. But ultimately, yes, Abu Dhabi in October might be what's next. Because that's what I'm hearing Makhachev wants to do as far as a fight. And Charlie O takes no damage here, gets through Beneil Dariush. I'm down for it. I would rather see it either neutral ground, or I would like to see it even in Brazil. I think that'd be pretty cool. But see it in America would also be nice. I'd be a big proponent of doing it in Vegas.
Well, what Oliveira said as soon as he won in the cage was, let's do it on your home turf, your home territory. So he's ready for Abu Dhabi. He's ready for Dagestan, bro. I think that one of the worst matchup for him is Islam Makhachev. And we've seen, obviously, him get submitted by Islam now. So even in his best place, he had problems with Islam. Still, he's so dangerous, dude. I think if you run that fight 10 times, Charles Oliveira finds success. It's just that the wrestling is such an equalizer between the two. The ability for Islam Makhachev to decide where the fight takes place is such a factor when you talk about a dangerous Charles Oliveira, where he just can't control where it's at all. He just has to kind of stay on the gas pedal. And I think that's what a lot of people do against these Dagestanis. They stay off the gas pedal. Listen to Coach Kavanaugh after Conor McGregor lost to Khabib Nurmagomedov. He said, the number one regret I have as a coach is I failed Conor by not having him be on offense. We trained so much defense for these Dagestani wrestlers, getting those hands unclasped, fighting the hands, making sure you're getting off the fence, how to stand up on the bottom without focusing on what their weapons really are. And it seemed like Charles Oliveira and the Brazilian shoot the box team made the same mistake. They weren't out there on offense. When you get out there against Islam, you know that he's a better wrestler. You can't stop that. What you can control is you can come after him.
Volkanovski, he's the only guy that really brought it to Islam and came throwing heat at him. Look how close that fight was. So I'd expect Oliveira try taking things away from the Volkanovski fight. Now, Will it be enough to beat him? That's so fucking hard to say looking this far ahead, but I don't know, man. I don't know, because I still saw Beneil Dariush on top of Oliveira, and I feel as though the top control from a Makhachev is superior to a Dariush. And I feel like in the striking department, Islam Makhachev is a lot smoother than Beneil. Beneil might have some more sting in his punches if he's really loading up power for power, but Makhachev a little more precise. Dariush can kind of get swayed into a brawl where we really haven't seen that with Makhachev. I'd probably lean Makhachev still, but as a fan, it'd be cool to see Oliveira take out Dagestan, and then we run it back 3 times.
Islam Makhachev's one loss, knockout.
Yeah, and Oliveira's got the power to do it. If Oliveira really came after him early in the fight and happened to land the combination, but it's going to be really about early attack and catching Islam with a big shot. It's a fucking crazy matchup. I'm down to see it again, but I expect Makhachev the favorite.
So many good fights to talk about on this card. Mike Malott putting the stamp down, looked good getting a finish, man. Those guillotines are so tight.
He's nasty, bro. He's a nasty motherfucker. I feel like Mike Malott is next up for Canada. We talked about it before, and actually I got to shout out Mark Begley. Thank you for the $25, my man. We appreciate your support. And the dono in the chat, my guy, Mark.
That's respect, Mark. We for $25, that's no bullshit.
That's
25-cent donation. That's legit. We appreciate that, Mark. Maybe you cashed one of our plays. Let us know, Mark. Thank you,
Mark, my man. As far as where I was going with that, Mike Malott, he's got a good feel. Like, I don't know, I like the personality. I feel like he's also got a well-rounded game. And I was thinking somewhere in the future, I could see him crossing paths with Ian Gary in a little Canada versus Ireland matchup.
I like that. I like that a lot. AJ, the fucking matchmaker. I swear. I like that a lot. Hey, you know what I really liked the fight before that? Dan Ige and Nate the Train. Come on, man. Nate the Train. Can't be boxing out here with Dan Ige, dude. Dan Ige's got that deep stance, nice hands. What a tailor-made matchup for Dan Ige. I love that performance. How nice is it to see Ige string a couple together, pull through that one? Man, he gave Nate the Train a boxing lesson, AJ.
Yeah, he worked him out, man. It was beautiful. I was impressed by Ige. It's what I thought could happen with those two, just Ige being the better technician. And then open up the main card, Marc-Andre Barriault, absolute savage mode. Good fucking call on that one, bro. We both picked him. Mike locked him. And thankfully, I bet him right before the main card started. You know what I'm saying? And Barriault and Anders was a dogfight. It was back and forth. There were some big punches by Barriault. He dropped Eric Anders early in the fight, but Anders dog tough was still able to go long and ate some clean shots on the chin, man. But I feel like someone Eric Anders that I just come to expect is durability. Even though he's not the most technical guy, he doesn't have the best ability to close distance without getting hit. He takes a lot of punches. He eats them pretty fucking well. But Barriault looks smooth, man. I was impressed.
Yeah, Barriault has a gas tank for days. If you guys noticed at the end of the first round, Barriault's like waving him in, and Eric Anders obliges and starts emptying the gas tank a little more. I will say Eric Anders actually did have a decent gas tank in that fight.
He did.
But by that middle of that third, man, it was just so obvious that Marc-Andre Barriault was the one who was just taking this thing home. So Marc-Andre Barriault in Canada, home country, and he's a cardio machine. It just seemed like it lined up for him, but actually a decently admirable performance from Mr. Eric Anders. So I think he'll still be around, man. He's not gone. He looks all right. I mean, he was in that fight, but Marc-Andre Barriault, gas tank for days, man. My man can fight. If it's a 5-round fight, Marc-Andre Barriault's made for it, so hopefully he gets some big ones soon. Maybe he'll be in a main event sometime.
Listen, if he can string 2 more together, I could see them pushing him because he's Canadian. He's entertaining, but he's got some savages at middleweight he's going to have to get by. I don't know what the next matchup might be, but either way, I'll be tuning into a Barriault fight. Good card overall. Yeah. Obviously the featured prelim, it ended with a no contest. Chris Curtis eats a nasty headbutt that slices his eye open. Granted, it was kind of a mutual clash of heads, not like a fucking, knockout headbutt. Unfortunate, because Imavov was looking better than we had ever seen him. He was, showing a little bit of that Dagestani wrestling. That OV was coming through, and he was on the money with his punches as well.
And there were also some smart people out there who are on the Jazadavicius team.
That was great.
Shout out to them, man. She looked good against Miranda Maverick. Really put it together. You know, Jasmine Jazadavicius, not the fastest fighter I've ever seen, but it definitely is putting it together. She's clearly turned corners in her game because she was able to out grapple, you know, Miranda Maverick. And then, of course, on the feet, she did a ton of work as well. So what a win for her.
Mike Finch, do you ever watch MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani these days?
I occasionally catch the MMA Hour. You know what I like? If Dana says some shit that's any bit questionable, I know Ariel's going to roast him for like a half hour and dig up old clips and just go in on him. So, you know, I love Dana White for sure. I'm pro UFC. Don't get me wrong, but it's always interesting to hear the Ariel Helwani take. That's when I tune in.
Hey, MMA Jesus, he says he made it on the MMA Hour today. So shout out to him, man. I saw him post something online about it. So got to give him the love for that. Congrats, MMA Jesus. We're glad to hear it. People, we hope you enjoyed the early portion, which was the recap of last week. I want to get into some fights. I want to get into some violence. So smash the likes if you're new, subscribe. And let's start this Monday breakdown off right. First fight of the night, Modestas Bukauskas versus Zac Pauga. I'm picking Modestas Bukauskas to, kick some ass. And Modestas' last name, I fucked it up that second time. Bukauskas. Modestas, all right? I think he's going to touch up Zac Pauga on the feet. Pauga's best chance to win this fight is 3 rounds of cage control. Pauga kind of, I don't know. I'm going to say he's like a more watered down version of Eric Anders at this point because he doesn't have that experience, but he's got a good athletic base. He's physically strong and he's got a bit of power in the punches, but ultimately he doesn't have great technical capabilities where Modestas on the other side, he took a fucking destructive oblique kick against Khalil Roundtree, was released from the UFC and then fought his way back. Looked good against Tyson Pedro. I think that he's just a better technical fighter than a Pauga. The football background, I think Pauga could end up getting clipped and hurt coming inside. It's the same thing Anders does. It's that little bit of stiffness with the head. They lack that little smooth flow. And I think that Modestas could make them pay. So I think Bukauskas is live for a KO in this fight too. So I'm picking him to beat Zac Pauga, man.
You used to like Zac Pauga.
I was a big Pauga guy, but then when you go Jordan Wright and you give me Jordan Wright to say, I say, okay, I learned something about him there. He's smothering his punches. He's getting caught up against the cage holding. He doesn't like striking from range with these faster light heavyweights. At heavyweight, he's the quicker guy. At light heavyweight, he's slower on the feet. And now you throw him Bukauskas, who's got a fuckload of UFC experience. I like Bukauskas a lot here.
Good point. AJ and Zac Pauga, they've been on and off. It's like that classic MMA song, falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. You and Zac Pauga, bro, out of love, man. Out of love completely.
That's it, man. I don't know what happened, man. It is what it is.
Get Tyron Woodley in here to sing the hook for us. Look,
we need him.
I know he beat Tyson Pedro. And Tyson Pedro is good, but was it that impressive? Like, go back and watch that fight. That was like Tyson Pedro wasn't really laying on the gas pedal very well. I don't know what was going on in that fight. And then if you look at some of these other matchups, Khalil Roundtree, he backed Modestas up to the fence, put him in some really bad spots, bombed on him, was able to beat him up. Jimmy Crute hit him with some big shots. I mean, so Pauga, I think, is in this fight. But, like, how am I going to tell you guys to bet on Pauga either, right? So I'm in a bad spot where I think these two guys are not going to make it to the top of the division. If it was a bodybuilding contest, our guy Modestas is jacked. But I don't know, man. I think he's got some chinks in his armor. I'll call it a no-bet fight. AJ kind of just convinced me with that bit. I wanted to come in here and pick Pauga, but, yeah, man, they're the first fight of the night on a fight card at the Apex for a reason. And I could imagine Modestas taking it on the cards, man. That makes sense.
Modestas to win -185. Pauga at +170. As far as propping things up, if Pauga is to get slept here by Bukauskas, +275 for him by KO. Not saying I love that line. The money line is not awful in that -180 range here. I do think he's the better technical fighter than Pauga, but note, we got big boys going at it. And yeah, as Mike said, these guys are in the first fight of the night. Is betting on the first fight of the night a great option? It's risk territory. Number one, we're agreeing on Modestas Bukauskas, but seems like I got more confidence in him than my guy Mike does, but ultimately same side.
Same side. I just think that he puts himself in bad spots, and if Pauga uncorks some hooks on the fence, like, you know, I could see Pauga potentially getting a finish here. Maybe AJ can't.
I don't know, man. If he ain't sleeping Jordan Wright, I can't see him sleeping Bukauskas. That's it. Next fight on the card, we got Ronnie Lawrence and Dan Argueta. I'm going to pick Ronnie Lawrence. Before the Sudyo Cup Kakramanov fight, Lawrence had a really, kind of hype, I feel like comparisons to like a hybrid fighter, like a GSP, that he didn't wrestle, but he became a good MMA wrestler. And he's known for having solid wrestling in the cage. And he's also got some smooth striking. And now I look at Dan Argueta, a more traditional wrestler, but isn't overly impressive with his MMA wrestling, doesn't have a very dangerous stand-up game. He's a southpaw. He's in good shape. He's tough as nails. But Ronnie Lawrence, I think, is the better striker. I think he's the better grappler. As far as pure wrestling goes, you lean Argueta. But maybe in MMA, I could see Ronnie Lawrence with the striking, even putting Argueta on his back potentially. So I'm going to say Ronnie Lawrence over the 3 rounds is going to have the edge here. He's smoother on the feet, and I think that's going to be a big factor. I don't see him struggling with the wrestling of Argueta and getting chain wrestled, pressed against the cage. I think he's going to have distance, and I think maybe even puts Argueta on his ass here. So going Lawrence on the cards, though.
Lawrence has some nice movement on the outside, man. I can imagine him just kind of picking away at Argueta. Argueta's a lot stronger, though, AJ. So the thing I'm concerned about Argueta is when he gets to that top position. You know, my friend Nick Aguirre made his UFC debut and took a short notice fight against Argueta, and Nick Aguirre had to learn the hard way just how damn strong Argueta is. So as long as Lawrence isn't underneath him, I think he'll do fine. He'll do well on the outside, kicking the legs, just moving his feet. He's so light on his feet, can kind of pick away, and his takedowns are great, man. The timing's beautiful. So I think he's kind of coming to a prime here, and that he should be able to, you know, pick up a decision against a very tough Argueta. But again, Argueta, don't let him get his hands clasped. It's just like Leon Edwards did against Kamaru Usman. When you're on the fence or you're in a clinch with them, do not let them put their hands together. As long as he fights the hands, making sure he continually does not let that guy get any type of under-over, double unders grip, he'll do fine. I got Lawrence decision. Mike, what's up with the women's sunglasses, Hyena? I like Don F's response to your insults. Don F says they're non-binary. Thank you very much, Don. I appreciate that. Did he just gender my fucking glasses without asking? Don't assume, folks.
All right, let's talk about the betting lines. Ronnie Lawrence is minus 190, the favorite. Argueta at plus 165. I mean, Lawrence should win it. Almost 2-1 tag. Not my favorite as far as the money line attacks, but Lawrence to win on the cards is my official call. That's plus 130. The first two, as of right now, the betting side is not jumping at me like, yeah, go fucking run out. But Lawrence should probably get it done. Modestas should probably get it done.
Yeah. Agreed.
Next.
Agreed. I got Lawrence decision. I think he'll be just smarter.
All right, let's go. Lawrence, the pick for both myself and Mike Finch. Next fight, we got Tereza, Bledá, and Gabriela Fernandes. Mike, do you remember when Gabriela Fernandes was debuting and I was high on her kickboxing? I am still high on her kickboxing, but what we found out is she can be bullied in the grappling department. And Tereza Bledá is kind of a somewhat carbon copy of Jasmine Jasdavicius as far as frame and what she wants to do, which is she wants to employ her will on you. She wants to take you down. She wants to control you and beat you up. Work towards a submission if it's available, but she's definitely able to win hard-fought decisions. Bledá makes her debut in the UFC against one of the scariest females on the come-up right now, Natalia Silva, and now they throw her Gabriela Fernandes. This is a much better matchup. Bledá is still somebody that could be a future contender. She's 21, and Gabriela Fernandes at 29. I think Gabriela Fernandes is the better striker. If you talked about pure kickboxing, yes, but Bledá is the significantly better grappler. She's also 21. If Fernandes at 29 doesn't seem to have the grappling chops to compete at the higher level of the weight class, where I look at Bledá as somebody who will excel in the grappling and continue to get better in there in that department and then close any striking gaps that she has with the fucking length. Bro, if you're 5'9" at women's flyweight,
You're tall.
You're tall. We saw that with Miranda Maverick getting absolutely outsized. Gabriela Fernandes a bit taller. And in the striking department, I believe Fernandes is more capable than a Miranda Maverick. Nasty body kicks. Like, she's got some speed, but when she's on her back, she's going to be like a dead fish. It's one-way traffic on the floor. I think Bledá takes her down and beats her up. It's ultimately going to come down to Fernandez's jiu-jitsu defense. I do feel like she's competent defensively with the grappling. I'll pick Bledá. I'm thinking winning on the decision side, but one-way traffic in this fight.
Dude, I was so impressed with Bledá's jiu-jitsu, man. I mean, you take her down, she rolls through like Beneil Dariush, where she puts one leg up the center and does a somersault. I mean, even against Natalia Silva, the one fight where she did get knocked out, she was winning that fight. Like, Natalia Silva's real good. She was having a lot of trouble, had to hit her with like a spinning back kick to the face, a la Eddie Wineland, and the Brazilian's name is... Help me.
Eddie Wineland and
he got spinning back kick to the face by the champ, the Brazilian.
Edson Barboza?
No, somebody help me.
Renan Barão.
Thank you very much. Jesus Christ, too much weed out here in California.
Mike Finch.
Anyway,
his brain's
she got knocked out Renan Barão style. And besides that, I'm pretty impressed, dude. I saw a comment here: Bledá's not UFC material. Disagreed, folks.
And Fernandes is?
I think that Bledá is just coming into her own. You said she was 21.
She's 21. She's a baby, and she's already got the capabilities, bro.
She can't even rent a car in the United States yet. You know what I mean? Like, everybody chill and give her some time to grow. I think she wins this fight. Look, Fernandes is a lot stronger. Fernandes is a lot stockier. Fernandes, is going to be a little bit dangerous, but I got Bledá submission.
Bledá submission, I think, is a good call because Fernandes, to me, is only going to be competitive in the stand-up. As soon as they touch the mat, it is dominance from Bledá, even though I'm thinking it's going longer. So maybe submission prop is something to look at. As of right now, I'm actually not seeing a sub prop available. I do have the straight money line odds for this fight. Gabriela Fernandes sitting as a plus 220 underdog to minus 270 Bledá money line. Right now, I don't have any prop action. I don't know what's going on over here. Fight going the distance is not available either. There's nothing. The props are not released yet, but Bledá money line is very wide, as I feel as though it should be. Line opened at minus 300. It's minus 270 right now. So Bledá to win. It's going to be one-way traffic on the ground.
One-way traffic on the ground, totally different skill level on the ground, man. You guys are going to see Bledá get some nasty submissions. This is the type of chick to hit like a twister. You're going to see.
All right. Mike, what are you sipping on, by the way?
Yeah, I know. Damn hype MMA trying to just get me out of here with this. You're going to make me tell everybody what this is? Yeah. I'll tell you the truth. You guys ready?
Yeah.
I have a fucking cold right now. This is a water. That's water in there, my friend.
What type of cold you got, Mike?
I have a cold. I don't know. Out of my wife. Whatever.
Travel through airwaves and shit? Like, am I at risk getting sick? Do I need a mask or something?
Yeah, through your phone. Most of you guys, it's your phone. But for AJ, through the computer. No, I got a cold and I'm trying to hold it together here, but I'm keeping the energy high. Whenever I'm on a roll with the parlays like I am right now, I don't give a fuck. I'm bringing the energy. But this is water, folks. This is water. Well, I have some fun stuff over here, but AJ said we're not allowed to smoke on camera anymore.
No, we can't. Not on camera. I'm sorry. If you want to go to the side and get toasty, Mike Finch, everybody will support it.
It's right there. I can don't make me.
Just listen. As long as this is what I do, I go dip
down there.
I dip or to the side. Dip it to the side,
I got my fit. I won't even do it. Change topics before I get you in trouble, AJ. We're trying to keep this channel strong, man. There's no drugs here.
No. Never touch nothing. Next fight on the card, we got Zhumagulov versus Felipe Bunes. I'm picking Felipe Bunes to win the fight. I think that he is going to be able to outstrike a Zhumagulov and actually defend pretty well in the grappling. If you look at Zhumagulov and you look at his fights, he's got decent pressure, but his boxing is not really all that impressive. It's pretty basic. he's for a flyweight on the slightly slower side with his striking, in my opinion. I don't see that speed and that Muay Thai technique that I look for on the feet. And then I don't see the dominance in grappling. What I see is a guy who can absorb damage, strong, tough with pressure, but not like top tier with that level. And this is why you're seeing him take some losses, ultimately split decisions regardless. Bunes on the other side showed me good grappling defense, even against Jussier Formiga early in their fight. And Formiga is an elite jiu-jitsu specialist on the ground. Ultimately submitted Bunes in the second round. So that's something, I guess talk about, but I still think Bunes is winning it. I think at the end of it, the hand is raised. Bunes hard-fought decision.
Bunes hard-fought decision. Interesting. And that's interesting from you. I was really interested to hear where you were going to go with this one, because I've got a different take. I got to watch Felipe Bunes spar the God of War in Arizona when he was getting ready for the Brandon Moreno rematch, and when he beat Brandon Moreno, when he was having that tough weight cut. I was in the house with Felipe Bunes. I did a full interview with Felipe Bunes with Captain Eric Albertson, and we made sure to sort of dive deep into his background, and I got to know him a little bit. And Felipe Bunes, really good striker. From when I see him spar God of War, I definitely saw a lot. A God of War was really working those calf kicks. Davison Figueiredo, of course, I'm talking about. And Felipe Bunes, other than that, was doing really, really well in sparring with him, man. They were very competitive rounds. Felipe was giving him hell. And, he's been out there with the Pitbull brothers. I know they flew Daniel Vanderlei out there. Felipe Bunes was just sparring with Henry Cejudo and Patricio Pitbull and a lot of those savages. He is ready for Zhumagulov. And I talked to Captain Eric a little bit, and Captain Eric was hyped on him too. They're really focusing on him. I mean, when you're making your UFC debut and you've been with the team for as long as he has, Patricio Pitbull and everybody is making sure he's ready to put on a show. I got Felipe Bunes knocking Zhumagulov out, stopping this split decision skid. I think he's going to put Zhumagulov away. Head kick knockout. I think you guys will be impressed.
Let's go. Bunes for the win on both sides. I like it. And Mike, shout out to your boy Kevin Albasri. He says you have a cold. Spar hard tomorrow. Mike, he's asking you, bro.
Spar hard tomorrow. You see how these guys mistreat me? Kevin, are you taking a page out of Tawab's book? That's exactly what they do, especially Tawab. Kevin's a gentleman, but Tawab, I'll be like, man, I'm tired today. He's like, you want to go 5 rounds? Like, what the fuck did you just hear? So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm getting over a cold, Kevin. We'll see what's up.
Take a little music
shout out earlier in the show. So Kevin, you got to go listen to the earlier bit. Yeah. We'll spar super hard tomorrow. I'll bring my mouthpiece.
Let's go. Mike Finch. He set
30-second rounds.
30-second rounds is fair when you're under the weather, bro. Now let's read the lines off for this fight. Bunes is plus 145. Zhumagulov minus 165. Give me the Bunes money line side, bro. I've been on it early on, bro. Like, I've been thinking about this as the fucking A1 attack all week. And then hearing what you're saying, Mike Finch, I didn't realize that he even was the main sparring partner for Figgy in that camp. So that kind of boosts the confidence that I already had on him by, probably 25%. Like, I already got a money line 1 unit bet on him.
I mean, the whole deal, bro. Captain Eric was there in the freaking jacket being Bruce Buffer. They had the crowd noise booing him and everything. They were going in. Bunes was in there pretending to be Moreno. I mean, that's the type of experience he has in championship camps. It means something.
All right, Mike Finch. So you're essentially telling me to throw another unit on him right now. This is what you're telling me.
Responsibly, my friend. You got to use that thing to bet. All right. None of you folks ever tell me I told you that.
Advice. Mike Finch told me to do this. I'll blame Mike if this doesn't hit. No, I'm fucking with you, man.
Presidente Pedro's got it.
Listen, I'm on it. I just threw down, so I got 2 unit play on fucking Bunes, bro. Dog money. Let's go.
There you go. Hey, I give you guys what I can, man. What haven't I said? Felipe Bunes is a nice dude. How about that? Really nice. Cool guy, man. He it's a lifestyle for him. This is not like, he's got a full-time job and he does this. No,
he
lives this, man.
Let's go. He's going to win. He's going to fuck Zhumagulov up, and we're cashing big this weekend. Let's go. Next fight on the card, we got Denis Bondar versus Carlos Hernandez. Mike, I'm picking the Ukrainian. I'm picking Bondar to actually get a win in this one. But I recognize that Hernandez is dog tough. He mixes it up with the punches pretty well, and he can wrestle. I just think when you look at Bondar outside of the UFC, I mean, obviously a very unfortunate debut with Malcolm Gordon. He's fought a lot of seasoned guys, and he has some high-level experience, more so than his opponent Hernandez on the other side, which Hernandez does have the Altamirano win, which right now, like, that holds up as being pretty decent. Altamirano's a solid fighter, but I do think Bondar could end up pulling this one off. I see them as guys similar level, but Bondar a little bit more evolved, a little bit more experience. I'm going to go Bondar to win it. Hard-fought decision, bro.
I'm on the fence on this one. I got to go with Hernandez, man. I'm going to be against you here. I think Hernandez should be able to set a kickboxing pace here. Look, Hernandez got run over in his last fight by a much bigger, stronger grappler. That's not what I'm seeing in this matchup. No. Hernandez needs to sharpen up the takedown defense a little bit, but if he can disengage, if he can pretend that fence is electric, just keep your back off that fence. Make sure you take that center, keep circling like he usually does well, keeps a higher output than Bondar. I could see him taking 2 out of 3 rounds. Give me 29-28 decision for Mr. Hernandez.
Respect, bro. We're on the opposite sides of this one, Mike Finch. But I think we can find agreement. The over 2.5 is a great play to add maybe to a parlay. I think this fight's going long. Money
Why
line.
do I never think of those? I always think win-loss. I never think about like over-under. Yes, I agree. This one goes long.
That over is good. Minus 190. Hernandez is plus money, though. You do have a plus 110 dog. Bondar minus 130. I don't think the money line side is where I'm craving to attack. I think that over 2.5 can be something to add to a parlay, or maybe even playing it straight. So actually lines now are even between these two.
Yeah, even line. I'm going to go Hernandez. I mean, it's not my lock of the night, but I do think Hernandez gets it done. And every now and then we see a great comment. I'll show up Creep. Best show on YouTube, Finch and AJ. I believe that is a GOAT. So we always appreciate it, man. Even though we don't pull all you guys up with the compliments, I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in every single week.
Let's go, Mike. Next fight on the card, we got Kang versus Cristian Quiñonez. I am picking the side of Cristian Quiñonez, bro. I think Quiñonez is dog tough. I think he's going to hit Kang with the harder shots. I think Kang fights good at a calculated pace, but Quiñonez can bring a little bit more heat to him. Does he get the knockout? That's hard to say because Kang's a hard guy to put away, and Quiñonez can go distance. So I feel like scrappy 3 rounds. Quiñonez lands a bit more, harder punches on his side. And I think he wins it on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, Quiñonez had a nice knockout over Taha, stays on the outside pretty well. He's the type of dude, you saw him at the grocery store, you'd have no idea he's a fighter, just like not really built.
Quiñonez? I'd be a little bit nervous. Like, you got those tats, bro. You think,
I mean, tats is what you're looking for, bro.
He's got the ears. Quiñonez got the look that he can throw down.
Fair enough.
That fucking throat tattoo in the ears, bro. He's the guy I'm looking at. I'm like, I'm
just saying there's no 6-pack, bro. He doesn't look for that weight class. You expect super lean. Quiñonez, I don't even know if he lifts weights, but Quiñonez, definitely a really good striker. Does really well on the outside. Fairly patient, doesn't get hit with a lot. His favorite exit is the back door. He'll just pull a little bit away so you miss. Kang, I mean, we've seen him for a long time. We all know what he brings. It's probably going to be a good fight. I'm debating either KO or decision, but I'm on the same side as you. I think Quiñonez gets it done. Let's say decision due to Kang's toughness, man.
Respect. Yeah, I'm on the same side. And shout out Anthony Alessi for the 5. He says, appreciate the content every week, boys. We appreciate you. Much love, Anthony Alessi. Yeah, I'm going Quiñonez to win the fight. Money line, Quiñonez sits at minus 177 and Kang at plus 152. Yeah, I'm not really into the props here. I think that it could be a Quiñonez knockout or a decision if you're looking to touch it money line. I'm going with the youth in this fight. That's a factor. I think that Quiñonez has more upwards potential. Whereas, Kang, he's on a good streak 4-1 in his last 5. But, I mean, if you look at some of the guys, he's got splits over the Brandon Davises, the, Pingy Yu. I don't even know how to say that. I don't remember Pingy Lan Lu, bro. I forget about him, bro. Fucking Brandon Davis is the first guy that comes to mind there. And if you look, Brandon Davis and Kyoho Kang, similar level guy, split decision win for Kang. I think that Quiñonez is better. If you told me Brandon Davis and Quiñonez were fighting, I'd say it'd be a knockout. So I think that Quiñonez is a bit ahead of a Kang, even though I'm comparing fucking MMA math over here. Styles make the fights, but I feel like Quiñonez is going farther with the game.
Quiñonez is the guy on the come up. Yeah, yeah. You could expect him to, sort of think of bigger matchups in his future. Sort of thinking like, I need a knockout here. I want to be impressive here. That's where he's at. So I like that mindset better. Yeah, I like the young Quiñonez, and yeah, like I said, I think his style is pretty good for a Kang. He's not gonna do any dumb shit. He stays on the outside pretty well. Catches a lot of punches in his hands. Kind of keeps his hands up like a praying mantis a little bit. And he's Mexican. He's fucking tough.
Listen, the Mexicans bounce back with Quiñonez. Let's go. We're on the same side. Next fight on the card, we got Alessandro Costa and Jimmy Flick. So, Mike, Jimmy Flick was a guy that I was high on very early on, and he retired from the sport around the time, I was first getting started with doing YouTube. And I remember him and Cody Durden. I remember picking Jimmy Flick in that fight and being impressed with this guy's jiu-jitsu. I always felt like Flick is slick. But then he quit fighting. He said, I'm done. He retired from the sport. He said he wanted to be a family man, be there for his kids. He then, I guess, had a divorce and whatnot. So there has been maybe some personal issues that went on, which led him to coming back. I don't love that he left the game for as long as he did. I think if he would have rode that upward momentum, more positive. You go out there then kind of as a guy that was forgotten about. I mean, his win over Cody Durden, it's not that it's erased from the annals of history, but it's not really a fight that people think about anymore. And his last one, he got an early stoppage nonetheless, but Charles Johnson was beating him up. And that was 3 months ago. And now you throw him Alessandro Costa, who's a fucking monster. Alessandro Costa's debut is against Amir Albazi. And you look, Albazi, whether controversial or not, just beat a top-tier contender in Kai Kara-France. So that's one of the top flyweights in the world. Costa, knockout artist, dangerous Muay Thai fighter, physically strong guy. He's also stocky and short. And in this fight with Jimmy Flick, I find it interesting because Flick has the length, and on the ground, ultimately Flick, I feel like, is very good from bottom position with his guard, but the stubbiness of Costa, I see that as being hard to grab a hold of limbs. And I also think on the feet, Costa's got the stinging power. Flick has 5 KO losses. I think this is going to be another KO loss. I'm going Costa.
Yeah, look, Flick has some nice wins. I mean, the flying triangle over Cody Durden, like that's a pretty, solid victory right there. But rewatch that fight like I did. Cody Durden was whooping his ass. Cody Durden was coming out there, punching him up, able to wrestle him. And that flying triangle was just kind of a Hail Mary. And while you might hit a touchdown off of a Hail Mary every now and then, Aaron Rodgers doesn't usually win the Super Bowl. He might be able to sling that one out there every now and then. But I do think that Costa is the type of guy to be able to neutralize them. I don't see Costa getting flying triangled out here. I see Costa being the better striker, maybe even being the better wrestler. Although he's not going to be the better submission artist, he could potentially get a TKO in this one. It's a TKO or a decision for Costa for me. I would just money line it, folks.
Minus 245 Costa, plus 210 for Flick. Looking at it, Costa to win the fight by KO is plus 115. I think he is going to end up catching Jimmy Flick and sleeping him because Costa's got some power, man. He's one of those dynamite hitters at flyweight. I mean, you look at his most recent win, it was like 10 seconds, one shot KO. He's got the capabilities, man. And even in the contender series that he didn't get signed from, he beat a 10-0 fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Fuck it. Costa knockout. I like it a lot. I did think about that when you just said that. Kai Kara-France beat Albazi. Let's just say we agree on that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Long as we put that out there for the people. I think that Albazi's way higher up in the division than these guys. So your point is still taken, brother.
Yeah,
and
it's just that he's top tier. Yeah, Costa KO is where I'm at. Let's go. Next fight on the card. We got Raoni Barcelos and Miles Johns throwing down. Something about Barcelos is I feel as though maybe not everybody, but a lot of us, man, for a long time, we all felt that Barcelos, he's like the next coming of Jose Aldo and whatnot. But ultimately, he's already 36, right? So by the time he was getting all that fucking hype and he's coming into the UFC winning fights and it's like, yo, he's going to be a monster after he beat Khalid Taha. And then even his, loss to Timur Valiev, there's still hype on him. Victor Henry ends up pulling off a big upset over him, and that kind of crashed the hype. When I look at Barcelos, I see high-level instincts, right? But I just see a guy that got to the dance a little bit late. If he would have been in the UFC earlier, got into the game younger, I do think that you would be seeing Barcelos as a guy who, at the very least, was a top 7, top 6, top 5. I see him with the skill sets of a top-tier fighter, but I see him also 36 years of age. And I ask myself the question, Barcelos, at this age, where does he find the ultimate trouble? Not this guy, not Miles Johns. I think Miles Johns is a great athlete. I think Miles Johns hits hard, but something Barcelos has proven to me is when you give him the guys that are a step down in the technical skill set of the game, he can pick them apart and he can out-grapple them. Johns is a wrestler that's fallen in love with his hands, and ultimately he has big knockout power. Barcelos got chinned by Umar Nurmagomedov, someone who I watch fight and I say, take away if this is a Nurmagomedov. I went back and I rewatched that fight from the eyes of like, let me look at Umar Nurmagomedov as if his name was like Mike Smith. And I said to myself, watching him, wow, that's a guy that's going to be fighting for a world title and has a very real chance to hold a world title. There's no shame in a 36-year-old Barcelos getting chinned by an Umar Nurmagomedov. I could see plenty of guys getting slept by him. Barcelos is going to beat up Miles Johns here. Now, ultimately, Barcelos at 36, he's going to fight on the side of caution. I feel like he's not going to overextend himself and look for the KO. If it happens to be, it would be Miles Johns really overextending and then getting countered. But I think that you see Barcelos, hard-fought decision win over Miles Johns here.
That Umar Nurmagomedov knockout over Barcelos was nasty, bro. Brutal. That was a potential career changer. So when I see some shit like that, I generally want somebody to bounce back, sort of show me their head's clear after something like that. And Miles Johns dangerous enough to make me not want to bet on this one, to be honest. Other than that, I agree with you. I think Barcelos should dominate this fight. He's a much better striker. The experience counts for something as well. But yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov shut him off with a quick shot. And when I see that, and you said 36 ain't old, but the lighter the division is, the older it looks, Right. So yeah, 36, I'd be like, as a heavyweight, they're not even in their prime yet, Right. For the lighter guys, I'm a little concerned. So no bet for me personally. I would be, a little concerned putting some money on this one, but Barcelos is a much better striker. He should win a decision.
I think Barcelos potentially even on the ground has an edge, man. The grappling's better. I don't know if he takes it there. It would be more if he dropped Miles Johns. I could see Barcelos on top beating him up. Barcelos decision, same side. He is a bit of a favorite at -210 and Miles Johns at +180. Decision win for Barcelos +125. So that's what's expected here. I think that's what ends up happening ultimately. Let's see, Barcelos KO +375, sub +700. Probably Barcelos on the cards, man. I see him winning the fight, though. I like him to get it done. Moneyline bet isn't great. Probably wouldn't say to have all your parlays riding on this one.
Right.
But I think that it hits. I think Barcelos, as long as he's still there and that Umar Nurmagomedov knockout didn't absolutely, destroy his punch resistance, I think he should be bouncing back.
I mean, fairly recent, right? Umar Nurmagomedov.
4-ish months, 5 months, which is good. If it was 2 months, I'd be more worried. But 5 months I'm like, all right, that's a long time. That's good. I trust
it happened yesterday, bro. I don't know what 5 months. Wow, time flies when you're having fun, folks. All right, 5 months. He's well rested enough. We got to go Barcelos.
Barcelos. Let's go, Mike. Feature prelim. It's now time for the main card. If you guys haven't, smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. We're kicking it off with Nicolas Dalby and Muslim Salikhov. I'm picking Salikhov in this fight because I think he's the better fighter. He's more technical, but there's a dog tough motherfucker in Nicolas Dalby on the other side who just keeps coming. Good volume, good pace, physical strength, doesn't have the most crisp technique, but is going to go for it. I think Salikhov is definitely going to have to scrap. There's going to be moments where he's getting smothered and pressured, and he's going to have to dig deep to get out of those spots. Now, he's 39 years of age. Is that fire out of him? I don't think so. I think Salikhov touches Dalby up. I think he could stun him with punches, and then that can cause Dalby to back off. But if you don't make Dalby respect your power, he's one of those guys that's going to bulldoze and bully you. I'm picking Salikhov, though. Ultimately, I do think he gets it done. I lean the decision side, man. Dalby's just been a hard guy to put away. So, yeah, let's go Salikhov. What do you think, Finch?
Yeah, I think Dalby was taken down easy by Claudio Silva, and you see the OV and you know where AJ's picking. So you got to come to me right away because we already knew what AJ was going to do. And I think AJ hit the nail on the head there with that word technical. Dalby has no high-level technique, man. He throws it out the window. He's a dog.
He's a dog.
You know where I was going with that. That's Doja Cat. He's a dog.
Yeah.
And look, I think so. I think that he actually digs deep and he's tough to finish, and that's probably why it's going to a decision. But Salikhov better at jabbing, better at crossing, better at hooks, better at kicks. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I just feel like the better fighter will win this one, although he's the older man, and although Dalby could be physically stronger, I can't bet on that. So Salikhov, I think 30-27, is able to just coast through a decision here.
Salikhov to win the fight sits at -180 and Dalby's +155. The OV should get it done. I don't expect the OVs to continue on a losing streak, because if such, that would be a rare OV losing streak off whatever was it 2 weeks ago, back-to-back OVs, and then that'd be the trifecta of OVLs. I don't think so here. I think Salikhov would have won.
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, again, it's not my favorite, but I do think that Dalby is, probably tough enough to survive. Like I don't think Salikhov will knock him out. Maybe. But tough ain't enough, folks. This is the UFC, and Salikhov, even if he could get takedowns in this fight. I mean, again, Claudio Silva had no trouble getting an early takedown. If Salikhov could get a little ground and pound in, the striking will really start opening up. He can get Dalby a little tired, a little slower. Yeah, Salikhov should be able to pick him apart.
Salikhov, the win for both of us. Next fight, Mike Finch, we got Nicolas Motta and Manuel Torres. I know you're a big Manuel Torres guy, Mike. I remember last time out when I brought up some doubts about how will he look as it goes later. It didn't go later. And now when I look at Motta on the other side, I see a guy that when you dig back a little bit, he's been pressured and beaten early in fights. The chin has been touched and it has shut off. Torres is the guy who shuts you the fuck off. Torres is a knockout artist. He's a guy who brings great pressure, has awesome length, and is just fucking nastier than Motta. I really like Motta. I think he's got a pretty good kickboxing game, but he fights at a calculated and controlled pace where Torres is coming out fast and hard right away, and Motta's not going to be able to keep up with that speed, and I also don't think he takes the clean punch. Torres, first round knockout.
Torres first round knockout, folks. He knows how to turn his hips over and get some fucking power in a hook, man. Torres, tall and a little bit lanky, but also can fight like a little guy. Like he can hurt you anywhere. And I think Torres, if Jim Miller is knocking out Motta, I'm going Torres knockout all day. Undefeated in the UFC right now. He's on a roll with the first round KOs. I don't see Motta stopping it. Motta's want to get a hold of him, get some blood in those shoulders, slow him down. He's not the right man for the job, dude. I like Torres a lot in this fight. Give me Torres knockout and hit me with that line, AJ.
The Torres knockout side is sitting at +145. Moneyline sits at -185, and then Motta is +160 to dog.
Yeah, I mean that method of victory is seeming fairly likely. It's how he wins fights. Yeah. If you're concerned about that, the money line's not that far off.
No, -180 is not bad. I think it's KO side though is very likely too, and it's nice plus money. So Torres for the KO is the side that we're riding on, bro.
Dangerous man. That's a gunslinger right there.
I like this fight a ton. Next.
I think Torres is an exciting fighter that the UFC can invest in, man. You want to talk about a guy who is going to put on a show. I mean, when you're there for a Torres fight, don't blink, don't get up to eat your popcorn. I think he's going to stay on a roll, AJ. This is like the proper step up for him. If you're his manager and you're bringing him up right, Motta is perfect for this stage in his career.
Agreed. We're going Torres for the win, and it's going to be a vicious knockout. Next fight on the card, we got Pat Sabatini versus Lucas Almeida. Mike, I'm going Sabatini here. I'm an Almeida fan. I like him. He's a 14-1 fighter. He's dangerous and tough, and he fucking comes to, make war. But I see a bullying grappler on the other side who's going to have a strength advantage. Excuse me. And I also feel as though Sabatini is still a prospect that's on the come up. I mean, he's not super young, but Damon Jackson catches him, with like a front kick knee in the first few seconds of their fight. We cannot write him off. If that fight had not have happened, I think it would be crazy confidence on Sabatini by everybody. But now, oh shit, Sabatini got chinned. Almeida might chin him too. Yeah, Almeida's got nasty Muay Thai, but I don't think he's going to deal well with Sabatini's pressure. I feel like Almeida, though he has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, you got Pan Am champ versus regular black belt. There's a difference for me. I'm going Sabatini, and I'm going a bullying ground game, and I think he's probably going to win it on the cards, but he could potentially get a submission.
Yeah, I think Sabatini can get him down, man. We saw Lucas Almeida taken down with a body lock throw by Daniel Zellhuber, and I think Sabatini could probably drag him down there too. And then even on the feet, Lucas Almeida's striking should be better, but he doesn't use his reach very well. He has like kind of a tight guard. He likes to keep his hands up real high. I kind of saw like an extreme version of this with Irene Aldana on Saturday, where it's like that high guard is only necessary in the fire. You don't need to have that thing up the whole time, and it kind of takes away from the offense a little bit. If you have that high guard the whole time, it's hard to come off of there with punches. And we could go through a long list of fighters and talk about examples of this, but I think in general Almeida doesn't use his reach as much as I'd like to see. I think Sabatini is going to be safe enough on the feet, and you're right, when he gets to the grappling, I do think Sabatini can dominate him on the floor. If he's getting taken down by Daniel Zellhuber, I don't doubt Sabatini gets him on the mat, and that grappling advantage could really count for something here. Even just ground and pound from the top position for Sabatini, drop some elbows on him. Sabatini, submission or decision? Is the money line wide?
Submission or decision. Let's look at money line first. Sabatini's minus 180. We've seen a lot of that minus 180 tag today. Sabatini to win by sub plus 235. And then Sabatini by decision sits at plus 175. So I like that. I would rather money line it because I don't want to take the risk. I think Sabatini is a guy that you know what you're going to get from him, and that's a bullying grappling attack. Lucas Almeida is dangerous, but if he can't stop those takedowns, he's fucked. He doesn't have a chance to sub Sabatini from the bottom. If it goes to the ground, Sabatini has the level edge. If it's in the striking, Almeida's more vicious and he's the better striker, but that threat of the grappling might limit how much he opens up. If you look, Almeida's fighting majority strikers in his higher level fights. You spoke of Daniel Zellhuber. Last time out, Mike Trezano, kickboxing style guys. This is now someone in the UFC level that is a grappling specialist. And I have to go the grappling specialist when I haven't seen from that striker that he's able to stop takedowns. Adesanya, obviously a tremendous striker who stops the wrestling attack. Almeida, we don't know what he's got there as far as UFC level. I've seen him put on his back before, like you said, Zellhuber, also even on the Brazilian regional scene on his back. Now, found some grappling transitions, worked the top position himself. So it's not like he doesn't have knowledge on the ground. But how's he going to deal with a Sabatini? I think Sabatini wins.
Yeah, Sabatini's another level. Agreed. So potentially a submission, potentially a decision. With those types of odds, maybe throw it in like a 2-piece parlay.
Yeah.
Something to consider.
Yeah. I like that idea a lot, actually, bro. A 2-piece parlay with Sabatini could be a good slate. Yeah. Let's go. Next fight. We got Christian Leroy Duncan and Armen Petrosyan. Battle of kickboxers here. I got to go with Duncan. I believe in Duncan. Now, Petrosian is slick as fuck, but he's also got crazy short reach. And when he's fighting a guy with the length of Leroy Duncan, who I also feel capabilities of skill is similar in the kickboxing department, but Duncan's slicker. Petrosian might be more of like snappy, I guess would be the word. His kick snap. You hear that nasty sound when he rips you with a big kick. But I think Duncan is better with his hands. I think Duncan having like the 8-inch reach advantage on the feet, bit of a factor. Petrosian hasn't really shown us any threatening ground skills. I mean, for all we know, Leroy Duncan potentially gets a hold of Petrosian and takes him to the ground, kind of like what we saw when Slava Claus faced off against Mike Davis, or even when he fought Mark Jacasey. Now, I'm not saying we're going to absolutely see that, but I think Petrosian shown in the Kyle Bledá fight, good grapplers will control him there. Not saying Duncan's to that level. I do think we're seeing striking. And I look back at Petrosian getting chinned some time ago outside of the UFC, and I think Duncan could be a guy that chins him too. So I'm going to go Duncan KO.
Ooh, Duncan KO. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see him having a ton of power, especially in his hands. Like Duncan KO by what? Knee to the face?
I don't know, man. Maybe an elbow. A elbow.
A elbow. So give me, is it this guy? Is it the Anderson Silva bop? Is
Bro,
it the
it's
Muay Thai
the
chop?
T Ferg, bro. It's the T Ferg shit. You know what I'm saying?
Ferg.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I mean, I could see him hurting him with a straight and then following up with ground and pound. Kind of more, maybe what I'm seeing is an outside counter strike.
Man, this one's tough for me. Look, I think Duncan is a little more green. I don't think his hands are that good. I don't know how good he is on the ground. I know he does like to fight real long. You know, I break it down into zones for people. So he's out in the green zone. You know, the yellow zone's like, you can hit me, I can hit you, but we're kind of on the edge. Red zone is like, you know, Piotr Jan style telephone booth. He likes to fight out in green zone, taekwondo, karate style. You know, he likes to fight way far out there, which has been good for him because he can't box. You know, as far as Sabatini, more of a kicker. Armen Petrosian, still on Sabatini. Armen Petrosian is a bit of a kicker too. And so, you know, I think it's probably competitive, dude. I think this is a good competitive fight. You know, Petrosian doesn't have the aggression, I think, that would make a big difference. You know, I would kind of like to see a red zone fighter against a green zone fighter, somebody who's going to like close the distance Mike Tyson style. That's not what Armin's going to do. Armin's probably going to go kick for kick with him, and it'll probably be down to the wire. Yeah, I'll side with you on a Duncan play, but I don't think he's knocking Petrosian out. It's probably like, you know, 29-28, gets it on the scorecards.
All right, Duncan for the win, though, Mike Finch. We're on the same side. You're believing in Leroy Duncan because he is a good prospect on the come up. He's minus 145, the favorite. Petrosian sits at plus 125 as the dog. Leroy Duncan KO is plus 225, points plus 185. If I were to play it, I lean the money line at minus 145. I'll tell you guys that straight up.
Yeah, I like it. So Charles Barkley and Kevin dropping some facts here. Green zone is leg kicks at range, is what you're saying. Basically, it's Izzy's first title reign, right? Israel Adesanya loves fighting out there where you just can't quite hit him, and then he could snipe you back. And then Kevin, who hit us with the money earlier, red zone fighter equals Curtis exactly, and green zone equals Imavov, and that's exactly what we saw all night. Chris Curtis getting frustrated, you know, sort of when you're that red zone fighter, Kevin, the car's got to be in drive. It's got to be a Cain Velasquez style, right? If you're out there against an Imavov who's just going to like bounce on the outside, it doesn't matter if you're a better boxer if you can't get within boxing range.
Very true. Very true. This one here, I'm going Leroy Duncan. I'm thinking the KO. Finch picking the decision, but we're both on the prospect. Let's keep running up. Next fight is our co-main event. We got Arman Tsarukyan and Joaquin Silva. Silva's being thrown to the fucking lions here. Respect to Silva for taking the fight. But I think he's in trouble with Tsarukyan here. This is a big mismatch. This is, you know, a top tier lightweight contender versus someone who recently got knocked out by Ricky Glenn. So it should tell you how this fight's going to go. Listen, Ricky Glenn's a strong fighter. He's not bad. But Arman Tsarukyan is a different level. He's another tier up, man. Come on. At the end of the day, Tsarukyan's going to run through him. It's either knockout or submission. It's up to Tsarukyan. I say he hurts Silva on the feet and then brutally ground and pounds him, maybe slaughters him with elbows. It's going to be a beatdown, man. Sarukian's going to whoop him.
Silva looks like not quite human in this photo. It's like somebody just like stretched his face a little bit here. I don't know. The pictures AJ gets for these guys.
He got a facelift, bro.
He doesn't do them all right, you know. He had Usyk looking all fucked up. People telling me
that's just Usyk's look
last week.
Hey, listen, Mike, he won. Why'd you doubt your cousin? You know,
doubt? No, I said it was gonna be a good fight. I don't know. I didn't know he had hands. He was okay. It was okay. I didn't tell nobody to bet against Usyk, man. Yeah. Dorks could fight too. Walk into 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Dorks could fight too, man.
Silva here.
Look, Arman Tsarukyan is the executioner in this fight. Yes. Call him the Grim Reaper, the biggest mismatch on the card, and unfortunately, Vegas knows.
Vegas knows. Grandma knows, uncle knows, the whole fucking block knows. It's Arman Tsarukyan, bro. It's not a competitive fight. This is a mismatch, and you know. I said this is probably the most confident. This is the most confident pick of the year. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Arman Tsarukyan should run through Silva within a round. Now, under 2.5 rounds is plus money right now. I'm playing the bet right the fuck now. Tsarukyan's gonna finish him. What the fuck? If that under 2.5 is under 1.5 I got available now, minus 125. Fuck, man, it's not as good. Tsarukyan inside distance, though, like that's what's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna be one-sided. Tsarukyan to win inside of the distance, the line for that is minus 265. He's a minus 1,000 favorite. Silva's a plus 700 dog. What are you picking? What's the method, bro? Do you think that he does it by knockout or sub?
Evaporation.
Under 1.5 rounds?
No, look, Arman Tsarukyan's actually not that really that he doesn't really have that style, right? He's not a berserker. He's not going to go out there and risk it all. He's going to take you down and smash you. So it'd probably be like a late rear naked strangle. And I just so everybody can laugh, Josh S. The only reason I bet on Dvorak was because of AJ putting up that Usyk picture. That's hilarious, bro. That's thank you, Josh, because of Usyk's picture. Yeah, if you guys go look back at how bad that Usyk picture was, yeah, bro. So thank you for that, AJ.
Me?
Arman Tsarukyan strangles him. Third. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on this one, guys. The odds are just too damn wide. If you feel like making free money, I guess, but like, how much money you got to put down to make $10, dude?
Okay, let me tell you something. The last 2 losses for Silva, it was 37 seconds against Ricky Glenn, and then a second round knockout loss to Nasrat Khakparast. I think that Tsarukyan is going to get him out in the first 2. Now, the question you ask yourself, is it under 1.5 rounds? To be honest, I think it is. I'm going to say under 1.5, which is minus 125, ends up hitting here. I like Tsarukyan to kill him. Not to really kill him. I'm knock on wood on that shit. Like, I'm not trying to wish any bad on Silva because this is a scary mismatch. So I just hope Tsarukyan beats him up, wins the fight, and the ref stops it early or something, you know?
And the ref stops it early.
Yeah,
because Arman Tsarukyan's not the first round type, you know, it's just not his style. He's a guy who can smash you a little bit, wear on you. So just something to think about, guys. It's not it's not like a prime McGregor or something here, and even Connor goes a couple rounds. So it's a wrestler, and betting the over under is always a little dangerous with a wrestler.
I think, though, when you look at the Yagos fight, though, a guy who was in a fucking mismatch with him, he brought the heat to him. He got him out in 2 minutes, bro. And he stopped Yoel in the second round. The under 1.5 is going to hit. I'm betting it right now, bro.
Damn.
I'm fucking playing it.
Here.
Fuck it. I'm betting it right fucking now. It is what it is.
All right, I'm tuning into that live while you're sweating.
Oh, let's go. Let's do it. All right. So I just fucking threw down on the under in this fight because Tsarukyan's going to take him out. It's one-sided.
Did you just bet live like that?
Yeah, bro. I have the fucking betting right here. I got bet online.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. AJ's a savage. He's betting live on YouTube, folks.
Let's go.
Fucking around. Hey, we got $5.
Oh, DJ Oli Sentimon GA, my guy. Thanks for the content, lads. I made some money on Usyk. I know that AJ eventually pick flipped, but I had to support Mike's relative. Shout out to you, and good on you for supporting Mike's cousin, man. Mike appreciates it, and so does Steve.
God damn it. Look, folks, I think the basketball player was closer. All right. I think that one was closer. But
LeBron,
yeah,
right?
I'll take Usyk, undefeated
Yeah.
in the UFC. That's how we do.
Dude, it's a pretty savage roll. Mike, Steve Urseg, Finch, we got to get to the next fight on the card, which is the main event of the evening. We got the Italian Nightmare Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier. And if you're watching and you're enjoying, smash the likes. And if you're new, subscribe. Let's talk this fight, Mike Finch. I'm picking Marvin Vettori to win. I think Marvin Vettori is going to take him out. I think Marvin Vettori, I don't take him out. That's the wrong words. I think Marvin Vettori is going to bring the pressure to Cannonier. He's got a grappling edge. I think that ultimately, though, will it be on the floor? I could see him getting a few trips. I see it more cage control in the small cage. That will allow Vettori to back Cannonier up and, build up some control time. On the Cannonier side, he does have big knockout power. But Vettori's durable as fuck, man. He takes a great shot. His head is as big as a fucking cantaloupe or so. And I feel like if he's getting cracked by Cannonier, he'll keep coming forward on him. And then Cannonier backed up at a high pace, I think struggles. So I'm going to go Vettori on the scorecards.
Vettori on the scorecards I like. Look, guys, Vettori was longtime King's MMA guy, would come by the gym I coach at, UFC Gym Huntington Beach, often to come and wrestle and do cardio. And when I see people putting in that extra cardio work, that really stands out to me when they get booked for 5 rounds, man. He's a guy who likes to have a high output. Jared Cannonier is somebody who's famously had low to no output at times. And I think Marvin Vettori is going to pick away at him. Jared Cannonier is a much harder puncher. You always run the risk of getting knocked the fuck out when you're in there with the killer gorilla. But I do think the vanilla gorilla, the Italian gangster, the guy who is going to have the better cardio in 3, 4, 5, the guy who is going to have, I think, twice the output of a Jared Cannonier, that's the guy who I want to bet on. And I do think that the wrestling at Extreme Couture has got to put another wrinkle in the game of Vettori, and the Italian dream comes through. I do think he's going to win a decision here. Could potentially get it done in the 5th if he gasses Cannonier out. But Cannonier's probably smart enough to not stay on the gas pedal too much. He'll wait, and he's a survivor. I do think he just makes it through to that final bell. So give me Marvin Vettori decision, folks.
Even line for this fight. Vettori -110, Cannonier -110, the opposite side. Pick'ems. Close fight. I think Vettori wins on the scorecards. It is +150 for that, though I don't like it. Over 4.5 sits at -150. It is probably going long. I think Vettori's getting his hand raised at the end. It's a weird main event for me. I mean, my pick is pretty confident in Vettori, but this is just it's kind of a weird matchup. Different styles. Cannonier shines in the striking department. Vettori kind of shines with the bullying pressure, but ultimately never really is getting guys out of there, at least not, the higher level guys. So gonna be I think Vettori's dog toughness getting him the win.
His dog toughness, his ability against the fence, his ability in an under-over, his ability to, I think he's a better wrestler. So what if he could get a takedown? And even if he can't, AJ, I still think he'll do enough on the fence and enough with the output to be able to beat a Jared Cannonier. Yeah, Cannonier might have a good round. He might crack you with a big shot, but Cannonier really needs to get him out of there. I'd be shocked to see Cannonier win a decision. I think you got to go Cannonier KO, or Marvin Vettori could get this done a plethora of ways. One of them potentially is wrestling on the fence, dude. Again, Vettori over there at Extreme Couture, they're good at that Greco-Roman wrestling that Randy Couture was famous for. The coaches still teach there. And Marvin Vettori with another level of wrestling is a fucking problem because you don't really see him get tired. The only people who give Marvin Vettori big problems are people who are more technical than him. That's Robert Whitaker. That's Israel Adesanya. It's not Jared Cannonier.
Or guys that have a length advantage with some sting and also are fucking championship tier grapplers. Roman Dolidze, I got to give him some shine because he gave Vettori hell last time out. But he's 6'3" and he's better on the floor than, Vettori, technically speaking. Cannonier doesn't have that. So Vettori is the people's pick here for us. We're riding with Marvin Vettori. But you know what I'm ready for, Mike Finch? It's lock time. We got to talk about it. Let's get it. UFC Vegas 75 lock of the night. I'm looking to bring the fire this week because I've been on rocky road. I've been getting uppercutted, front kicked, and then strangled out. I mean, I got beaten up for 5 rounds on Saturday with Irene Aldana. Prior to
You
that,
got beat up in the chat today for 2 hours, bro.
I listen, it is what it is. I take my punches. I'm rolling with them, you know. The tough loss with Michael Johnson before that. And then now I'm just fucking fading into oblivion. Who the hell was the lock before that? All I know is it was a fucking dog that ended up getting me punished with, Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov lost a split decision. So, some trouble, but I'm not discouraged. I've took 3 L's and now I'm coming back with a big W. Mike, would I go first or you going first? That's the real question.
You were on a roll, bro. You got to drop it.
Listen, give me Bunes, Felipe Bunes. I've been thinking all week that he's a savage. And then Mike Finch added to my confidence. I already had a bet on Bunes placed. As soon as I dropped the full card picks, I went over and I bet on Bunes last night. And then I added another unit on top of it for Bunes. That's my dog this week.
Shit.
Dog lock. We're going Felipe Bunes to take out Zhumagulov. Let's get it.
Uh-oh, folks. Should I switch it to Vettori? Listen, I got to meet this kid 2 years ago back when he was training with the God of War and Henry Cejudo and all those savages at Fight Ready. I got the backstage pass. Nobody knew who he was. I got to go check him out and see what his style was all about. And he's a great kickboxer. He's been in there with a lot of the best. And so Zhumagulov does not intimidate him the same way somebody else making their UFC debut might feel those octagon jitters. I believe Felipe is ready for this. I know he's out there wrestling with great people. I know, again, Daniel Vanderlei came out. That's Sergio Pettis' jiu-jitsu coach. That's the jiu-jitsu coach of Rufus Sport. And he came out there and he's been working with them. And of course, the sparring partners are world-class. Captain Eric Albarracin on the wrestling. I think overall, you're going to see another level of Felipe Bunes. It's the right time for him to make his debut. And it's against a Zhumagulov, who, let's face it, a little bit predictable. We've seen a lot of Zhumagulov tape. You always like it when these highly intelligent camps, a camp like a Team Fight Ready, a camp like a Pitbull Brothers, gets to look at a lot of tape, and Zhumagulov has a lot of that out there. You know what to expect, as to where Felipe Bunes is much more unpredictable. Give me Felipe Bunes money line, and yes, that is a dog lock.
Let's go. Mike Finch and I doubling down. Let's get it, bro. I think we're in a good spot this week with Bunes. I'm ready to fucking hit a big knockout because we're at plus 145 for this tag. That's a beautiful tag. We're on dog lock. And it's time, though, to parlay some things up here.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Listen, it's time for the parlay. I got no rhymes. I just got straight dollars and dimes that we're about to fucking cash.
First off, you just rhymed. Secondly, I told you I got a cold today. You're going to make me sing it? You going to make me sing it today? I got a cold, bro.
Parlay time. We want to make some money and continue to succeed, even though last week Blake Builder shit the bed for me. It's all good. Now, Blake Builder was in a dogfight, bro. It is what it is. I wanna have Mike read off his parlay first, but I got mine on the screen already.
What a gentleman. Thank you so much. All right. Look, I like Torres, man. I think Torres is dangerous, folks. I think Torres is going to bomb on him with some hooks. Give me Mr. Torres. I'm a fan. And then we got to go Vettori, folks. The odds are not bad, man. I think Vettori is a much better fighter than Jared Cannonier, man. You know, and both of them looked not so hot against the champ, against the best. When they're in there with the best in the world, there's still a level or 2 or 3. But at this level between each other, I think Marvin Vettori should bully his ass. Again, in a 5-round fight, you got to go with the cardio. Marc-Andre Barriault showed you guys last week why he was a pick for me. And I do believe that Marvin Vettori is going to come through in 3, 4, 5 and really separate himself from a Jared Cannonier. So give me Vettori, give me Torres for my parlay.
Money looking like plus 214 for the Mike Finch parlay. Now, I'm keeping Manuel Torres in mind, and I think I got to throw the absolute savage Arman Sarukian in the slate, but it's like terrible money right now. It's just minus 134. Adding on top of that, I'm looking through, and I'm really trying to decide which direction do I go in. And I feel like I gotta just throw down what I'm feeling. It's Bledá. I know she's a female fight. I know she's only 21, but stylistically, she's a fucking nightmare for Fernandes. Plus 140, Torres, Saruki, and Bledá. I gotta throw something that I feel hyper confident, but also I'm shitting my pants as we speak of it, man. I like adding the fucking Marvin Vettori side to a parlay that Mike played, but I didn't want to just copy and paste his play. But I do think Vettori is a good addition. I feel like having Manuel Torres and Sabatini is also a pretty good play. I think Manuel Torres Bunes is a fucking tremendous play. Then you add Vettori to that. I mean, I'm about to just read it off. Let me just make it happen real quick. Hold on, man.
Hey, give them the whole give them the 5-piece parlay so they can really take this shit home. Now, remember, we had one of the execs from my bookie come on, and he was telling us how bad big fat parlays do. So you try to keep your parlay short. I always try to go 2s. So just something to think about. But AJ, hit us with the fatty.
Vettori, Torres, Bunes plus 655.
Oh, 3. You're good.
That's the 3-piece in the soda. No soda. It's the soda is the money coming at you. That's the 3-piece. You know what I'm saying? 3-piece and a little fucking water.
3-piece with some cold meds. Yeah, bro. 100%. AJ, I like your picks, buddy.
Let's go. Listen, we're bringing the fire every week, people. You guys know the drill. Mike Finch and I will be back every Monday. You can see my pretty face all week, man. Every day. Tomorrow I got a live stream. Wednesday, betting show. Thursday, late night live. I'll drop the Bellator picks on that late night live too. So stay tuned for the main card picks for that. And then Friday, weigh-in show, Saturday live stream. And we do it all over again the next week. Because you know the drill here is content every fucking day. Keep it locked in on the channel. We appreciate the support. Give Mike Finch a subscription. I got him linked up in the description as always. Mike, you got any final words for the people?
Look, my final words for the people: bet responsibly. I'll take these glasses off for the first time today. Look at those. Jeez, man. Look, just bet responsibly, guys. You don't ever let me and AJ bet for you. You guys got to take it into consideration, get your own decision made. But this week, dude, honestly, I'm feeling a couple of these bets. I think I'm going to pull some cash out of the wallet myself. Going to try to get a little parlay streak going here, a little lock streak going here. I feel it's starting for AJ as well. So I like the bets this week, and I'll leave you guys with that. Listen, folks, we're going to try to make some money here with you guys. And a lot of times, some of the best money to be made are on these off cards, these Apex cards or whatever. Everybody wants to bet on the big Conor McGregor fight. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of money to be made at these little Apex cards. Remember that cage is only 25 feet big, and so we get some little more action in the small cage, and I feel like we might get a couple finishes on this card too. So something to think about as well. Bet responsibly, folks. We'll see you guys every single fucking Monday. And I don't care if I'm sick or not, you're going to see my sick ass here every single Monday, folks. Thank you.
Let's go. Mike Finch, my guy, people, we appreciate you. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace, everyone.